This podcast is brought to you by Convo Cloth, the official clothing apparel of the NBC podcast. For the latest apparel, please go to www.nothingbutconvos.com. Now, let's get into the latest episode of the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. What's good, people? It's the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. And this is episode 44, Eagles Week 6 and 8 review. So in this episode, I break down Week 6, Week 8, both of them dubs, 7-0, flying high. You know how we get down. The team is looking good. The quarterback got his swagger. The role players, the star players around them are balling. The defense had a big pickup with the trade. Man, I'm excited for this season. So in this episode, I break down the Cowboys game, the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Like I said, both of them dubs. I break down what happened in both of those games, the standout players in both of those games, and then this week, Thursday night, against the Texans. So sit back, relax, let's get it. Episode 44, Eagles Week 6 and 8 review. Took a little time off. In between that bye, my daughter had a birthday party and things just didn't line up for me to do a pod. But I'm back, re-energized, so let's get it. Our Eagles, 7-0, look like a complete team out there. The quarterback is playing at an all-time high, not giving up the ball, throwing 4 touchdowns, running 4 touchdowns. Defense looks like it's locked down on the edges, on the corner. Linebackers, safeties. Come on, man. This team looks good. A complete team. But let's get into this Dallas game. I didn't get too hyped about this Dallas game because Dak wasn't there. And he's a big piece of that team. And so it's easy to stop a team with Cooper Rush. He's an NFL player. We did play against that defense, but we still have to keep it a buck. Dak didn't play. And so a win is a win. It is what it is, but Christmas Eve, yes, sir. I hope everybody's playing so we can really see and put everything to bed. In that Cowboys game, Lawrence, Parsons on the edge. Their defense was still intact. They had all their corners. They couldn't do nothing with us. We left Parsons unblocked, so he had to think. It didn't look too good for him. We won that game to put us at 6-0. I don't want to get into it too much. I know it's a review. I think the offense did good. Defense did what they had to do against a backup quarterback. We stopped the running game. It is what it is. Week 7, we had a bye. And sometimes when the teams come out of bye, they're a little sluggish. We came to play. And I don't care if you say, oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not that good. They're still in the NFL. They still get paid millions of dollars to play. Coaching staff still get paid. They came to Philly and got that butt whoop. Jalen Hurts during this game. 19 of 28, 285 yards, 4 touchdowns. The most important part of his stat line, 0 interceptions and 0 turnovers. He was playing so well that Gardner Minshew came in the game. Come on, man. If Gardner Minshew come in the game, that means that team got blitzed. Rushing. Miles Sanders, 9 carries, 78 yards, 8.7 yards a carry, a touchdown. 9 carries. He's getting almost 9 yards a carry. Come on, man. He fresh. You better run him this week because he fresh. Boston Scott, 7 carries, 21 yards, 3 yards a carry. He came in when we sat all the starters. Jalen Hurts, 2 carries, 10 yards, 5 yards a carry. That's what I like him to be. He only had to run 2 times. We need that. Kenneth Gainwell, 1 carry, 3 yards. Gardner Minshew, he carried -1 yards. Garbage time. We're going to get into Jalen Hurts' performance later on in the pod. And also we will get into A.J. Brown's performance later on in the pod. Receiving this game, A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 156 yards, 26 yards of reception, 3 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert, 6 receptions, 64 yards, 10.7 yards of reception. Zach Pascal, 2 catches, 57 yards, 28.5 yards of reception, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, moving the chains. 5 receptions, 23 yards, 4.6 yards of reception. Kenneth Gainwell out the backfield, 1 reception, 8 yards. The team was balling. Offensively. Defensively. They did what they had to do. They peeled their ears back at the end of the game and rushed the quarterback. Gardner Johnson got a sack and a pick. 4 picks this year. He just came to the team. 4 picks this year. He's looking like an all-pro safety. Bradbury on the other side, shutting everything down. A beast. Bradbury is that boy. Slay really didn't get tested on that side. They cutting off half of the field. That's dangerous for a defense. If a quarterback is cutting off half of the field, he not even throwing to that side, that's a win for the defense. You're not even testing Slay. That's crazy. So this game, Jalen Hurts was throwing dimes. Dimes. That first pass, he said, you know what? I got an all-pro receiver. I'm going to just throw it up there. I'm going to see what's going to happen. A.J. Brown came down with it. You see the chemistry, the work that was put in between both players, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith is on the same page. Dallas Goedert is on the same page. Miles Sanders is on the same page because they all worked out in the offseason. You see some other teams, Packers, struggling because they didn't work out in the offseason. Aaron Rodgers doesn't know his receivers' tendencies, how they like the ball, where they like the ball, and all of that. He just thought it was going to work because his name is Aaron Rodgers. It don't happen like that, Jack. And so you see what Jalen Hurts can be, and you see that there's no limit to his ceiling. He can do it all. He's reading defenses. He's reading coverages. He's reading the outside defender on his own read. He's throwing the ball, running the ball. He has full control. When you have a person or a player that has full control of the game slows down for him. And everybody knows that. They hear it, and most people play sports. They know. Once that game slows down for you, it's over. That's elite status. When you can do whatever you want on the field or on the basketball court, there's no stopping you. And he's doing it, not putting his body in harm's way. Didn't get hit that much last game. He didn't even run that much last game. He showed you that he can beat you all the ways. And so now, what is the defense going to do? He showed you against Dallas. He showed you against the Lions. He ran a lot against the Lions. He showed you against the Vikings. He just tore them up with his arm. He showed you this week with his arm. He's showing you, and he's not turning over the ball. He had 140 quarterback rating. Come on, man. This dude is looking like the steal of that draft. A true steal. Yes, we're going to have to pay him. And I know it's going to be the north of $40 million a year. But right now, he looking like a steal. And sometimes you don't know what you got. You know how you go into an art class and they have clay and then you mold it into a cup or a vase or something else. That's what the Eagles did. They molded him into a player that they wanted him to be like and what his skill set was. They didn't knock his skill set. They didn't say, oh, he's a running quarterback. Oh, no, we're going to make him throw. Nah, he could throw. He came out of college and he could throw the ball. But you got to work with that, man. You got to coach it up. You got to make sure the player gets better in your scheme. You just can't think it's going to happen overnight or it's microwave popcorn. You just put them in there, bang, it's done right away. Nah, let that boy work. Let him mature into the position. And you ain't paying him that much. And that's what I'm talking about. But Howie and what he did this offseason, how he constructed this team and built this team. Come on, man. He built it just like the early 2000s when he had Donovan McNabb, they had T.O., they had a running back, they had a defense, they had Javon Curse, and they had the corner. Come on, man. It's the same. It looked the same to me. And then you learned from your mistakes. You paid the receiver. You put him up there with all the top receivers. You put him up there. Does it look like he worth more than that? Hell yeah. But his numbers didn't say that he was worth more than that at the time. But he going to put up numbers. And you got him locked in. He got $100 million. That was one of the best investments. You got him for a first rounder and I think a third rounder. Something like that. That trade, do you think that A.J. Brown is worth more than what that trade was? Hell yeah, because he got more yards than all of the Tennessee Titans receiving core. He got more yards than them. That's crazy. And so, A.J. Brown, he's an all-pro receiver. They didn't use him like how they using him now in Philly. That was a run-first team. Remember, this guy had 1,000 yards his first 2 seasons. He got hurt last year, and he still had 800 yards. So when he's healthy, he's a 1,000-yard receiver easily. And they didn't throw it to him. So he's showing you what he can do. He's taking the top off, and he catching it. That's different from Eagles receivers. All the receivers that we had in the past, they can't catch. They can't. Devontae Smith can catch, but that's 1 year that we just had him. I'm talking about in the past. All them other receivers, Rager, all them other dudes, either they can't get open or they couldn't catch. The only receiver that we really had, or two, it was Jeremy Maclin and Deshaun Jackson, and they can catch. But this is something different than them. He got speed, strength, everything. Everything that you want a receiver to have, he got it. He got enough speed, quickness, route running. He can jump. He can catch. He can do it all. That's in one receiver. Bang. And then your receiving core look crazy right now. Devontae Smith, come on. Dallas Goedert, one of the best in the league. Like, this team, man, I'm telling you, everybody say they ain't tested. So what? They beating everybody that's on their schedule. And they can win multiple ways. They can win in multiple ways. That's crazy. And then let's get to the defense. They got ends. Howie pulled off another trade. Robert Quinn coming in there, playing 20 snaps. Then you're going to have the NASCAR package. Come on, man. This defense is built for Robert Quinn. He old, but he gonna be fresh. He's going to be fresh. Yes. Jordan Davis was a blow to this defense, especially the run defense. He's out for 4 weeks, high ankle sprain, and I'm glad it wasn't nothing else, no Achilles, no ACL injury. I'm glad that it was just that. I'm super glad. But Howie you have to praise him. We tore him down for getting receivers in the draft wrong. He made up for that. They moved up. They got Devontae Smith. They traded for A.J. Brown. You already had Dallas Goedert. That was a good draft pick. Quez Watkins, that was a good draft pick. Then you picked up Pascal, that he does all the dirty work, but he's still that boy that he can catch, right? He can still catch the ball. See, it's different, man. When you a quarterback and you have faith in receivers catching the ball, it's different. You see him, he throwing the ball out there. He like, look, I got confidence in my boys. He didn't have confidence last year. He didn't. He got confidence now. He had confidence in Devontae Smith, but they was rolling coverage over to Devontae Smith. It's different when now ain't no coverage rolling. They either late or they got to pick up all of these weapons. Like, who am I going to pick up? Do I get Devontae Smith or do I get A.J. Brown? So now you showcase A.J. Brown. You play one-on-one with A.J. Brown, the ball getting thrown to him. And he catching it. 156 yards, 3 touchdowns, man. This John look crazy. I'm telling you, it looked crazy. But I always said the Eagles always had a blueprint on how to construct a team. They did it multiple years. They know what it looks like. They had Vic. They had receivers. They had running backs. They had DNs. They had corners. They already know what you need to do to win a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl. D-line, offensive line. That's what they value. But now they valued that for so long, but now they valuing the receiving core. They valuing the tight end. That's what they value. Like, look, we got to go out and get a receiver. They never did that back in the day. They did it one time. Once. When they got T.O. I'm talking about all-pro beast, man. And then Alshon, he was on his last leg, but he had to prove it. He got $14 million that 1 year, had to prove it, and they signed him to a 3-year deal. But what I'm saying is they got young dudes on the outside that can straight ball. And when you give a young quarterback weapons, he out there willing and dealing. To me, and I'm not just going to say this because I'm biased and that's my team and all of that. Nah, he's 7-0, and he's one of the reasons why the team is 7-0. You can't say, oh, it's the defense that's carrying him. It's this that's carrying him. Nah, he getting the job done. And he improved on his passing. He improved on every aspect of his game. We haven't seen that in the quarterback since McNabb. From one year to the next, improve. From the next year to the next, improve. We haven't seen this in a long time. And I know a lot of people don't like McNabb, but that boy was a baller. And I think that Jalen Hurts might be on his way to be better than McNabb. Because he don't throw dirt balls. McNabb was always throwing that ball in the dirt. But also he ain't had no receivers as well. 1 year. He had a receiver 1 year. And you've seen what he did. And then he had him for half of the year the other year. And he had like crazy yards. They was killing that year. But Howie deserves some credit. So this week, short week against the Houston Texans, Jalen Hurts going back home. His family going to be in attendance. They moved his father's game. His father coaches high school. They moved the game to Friday because they usually play on a Thursday. They moved the game on a Friday so he can go see his son play in person, at home. He going to show out, man. I'm telling y'all, he's a star. If you say a star in the making or going to be a star, he's going to be a star in this league. And you're going to see him on a lot of stuff. Advertisement money is going to be, oh my gosh, he's going to get it. I think he already signed to Jordan brand. They sending him cleats and stuff. He got Lemon Perfect. He's selling his merch now, capitalizing. I'm telling you, that kid's going to be on everything. And you know I got to get a jersey. Authentic, elite boy. And if I go to one of those games, I'm getting that thing signed, hanging it up in my crib. Because I think he's going to be like that for years to come. He's going to be like that. And so my prediction this week against the Texans, they got smashed on the running game last week by the Titans. And they pass defense ain't that good. I'm pretty sure and I'm confident that we should be 8-0, but anything can happen. They say any given Sunday, but any given Thursday, anything can happen. But I'm confident in my boys. I would like for us to run the ball this game a little bit more heavy and let them think, oh, it was passing all game last game, then hit them with something else that they ain't see yet. They seen it, but they going to think that we going to be throwing. Nah, we running it. Smash them that way. But with that, people, it's a wrap. 1. So that was episode 44, Eagles Week 6 and 8 review. So in that pod, I broke down the Cowboys game, the Pittsburgh game, and this week, Thursday night, against the Houston Texans. Our team is 7-0. We're flying high. Our quarterback look like he's one of the best in the league. We got elite receiving core. Running back looks good. We are a complete team. It's hard to get a complete team in the NFL, but you can do that when you're paying your quarterback $1 million a year. And yes, that will change, but for right now, we got to go after it. And so, until the next time, people, stay safe, give respect, and show love. 1. Make sure you go listen to all old and new NBC podcast episodes on all podcasting platforms. And please go to www.nothingbutconvos.com for the latest apparel.